I'm curious, Tim, like from a coaching standpoint, what are some of the principles that maybe that you teach to maybe help the audience? Maybe they are in a struggle right now, or they're in a rut, or maybe they are just getting started in the business. What are some of the principles or concepts that maybe at a high level, you don't have to get into the weeds on it, but
I think probably the most valuable thing that I've learned, and it really came clear a few months ago. I heard a veteran agent teaching a class, and he was teaching newer agents, and he told them, don't do open houses. They don't work. They're useless. And I really had this urge to smack him. And after the class, he actually came up to me and said, what do you think? I said, I think you just taught the worst class I've ever heard. I was so offended by that. And he asked me why. I said, because you're telling people don't do open houses. And I still think to this day, with all the tech, with all the social media, with all the realtors sitting in their parents' basements creating content, you got to go out in the real world and talk to a stranger. And I still think if any new agent, go find open houses to do. And if anyone ever looks at me, I'm like, the builders have a model. The builders are smarter than we are. They have more money than we do. How do they sell houses? They do open houses 7 days a week, and that's all they really do. Yeah. They have websites and stuff, but all they really do is open houses. And I still think as a coach, if an agent's like, I need to find more business, you got to talk to strangers, your friends and family. Maybe if you were the president of a sorority or fraternity at OSU with 300 other people and you're 25 and they're all getting married, maybe you got a chance just from your friends. But for the normal realtor, you don't know enough friends and family that are going to keep you going.
Yeah.
And so I still think old school. I know being 59, a lot of younger agents look and go, yeah, but he's old. It's, they don't do that anymore. Yeah, I admit we used carbon paper contracts. We actually had fax machines, and the MLS was just going on the computer when I started. But open houses work then, they work now.
Yeah.
If you don't do open houses, and the builders, most of the builders will let you do spec homes. So if you can't find a listing, and just getting out and talking to people, going to Rotary, going to Chamber of Commerce, going out with your mortgage guys, and just getting, the more people the more business you do.
Yeah.
So I think when I coach, I always start with that. I teach a principle. I teach classes on 35750, which I'm actually finishing the book finally. It's the easiest thing I ever came up with. You want to grow, and I don't care what you sell. It works anywhere. But it's meet 3 people a day, do it 5 days a week, and in a year you met 750 new people. That will grow any business. I don't care what you sell, but if you're in real estate, you meet 750 people and you put them in your database and you follow up and you farm, you're going to sell houses. And I think that's the secret sauce to this industry. The other side of the coin is fiduciary responsibility does matter. Agents that care about their check more than the client's situation, it comes back to bite them. If you always put your client first, you always do the right thing, you call agents back, you communicate, that matters. It matters in your reputation in the long run for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I always coach is, be a decent human being to each other. I mean, you go through it, you're an EXP agent, the post. Well, anyone who's slamming EXP just needs to shut up. It's a good company. I got friends there. I've been at Keller a lot of my career. I was at Remax. But, you guys recruiting, Keller Williams did it when they started. Every company recruits. So get off the EXP guys, and there's a couple new ones coming in that, it's like, It doesn't matter if you're at Red One, if you're at Joe Smith Realty, or if you're at Keller at Remax, we're all in the same industry.
Yeah.
And I coach and I really push my people, return calls. If someone sends you a really crappy offer, call them back and thank them for the offer. Say, no, my client's not interested, but thanks.
Yep.
If an agent calls you and says, I'd love to have coffee and talk to you about such and such broker, if they're professional, I got time for them. It doesn't mean you have to switch, but You should meet people. You should know your peers. When I sold, man, I bet you if I went down the top 250 producers, I probably knew 220 of them at the time.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. But so I always coach the agents, especially the new ones, when you're going in, this is not war. This is peers.
Yeah.
If they're professional, you be professional back. And that's kind of a soapbox thing for me, because it drives me crazy when I see all these people slamming, and there are people that recruit wrong. I mean,
Sure.
but if somebody calls you, and talk to them, be nice. If they're polite, if a lender calls and wants to have coffee, yeah, have a cup of coffee. They're not gonna. What are they gonna do to you? You
Yeah.
never know when they can help you. You never know when you'll need them, and you never know when you'll leave and not be a realtor and want to be a lender, or vice versa. I think the biggest problem in this industry is we treat each other pretty bad a lot of the time.
Yep.
You sell, you put offers in, and you don't even ever get a call back. They don't even have the courtesy to call and say, sorry, we went with a different offer, but thank you.
Yeah.
And, that's the worst part of our industry. And it didn't used to be that way. When I got into it, you had to go to a lot of brokerages to get keys. There were no electric lock boxes. You had to interact more. And, the tech has been great in ways, but it's also stopped us from, like what you're doing here is great. Getting agents from different companies, it's great getting to know people. It's great just having conversations and, hanging out with your peers. So we'll talk to strangers, do open houses, always prioritize the clients. Even if you make no money on a deal, it will pay off, and, be more professional. We have a bad reputation. There's this little NAR settlement lawsuit because we have a bad reputation. Realtors rank with used car salespeople, ambulance chasing attorneys, health insurance salespeople. Why do we rank there? A lot of it's because of how we treat each other. Clients see it, and if all the new agents coming in were taught, the benefit of getting to know each other and being professional, our industry would do better.
Yeah.
So there was my soapbox. Sorry.
No, I love it. Because I always tell agents, I have a passion for new agents, just because, I always say I got lucky meeting my mentor and my coach, and I feel like it's my obligation, my duty to give back, right, to that part of the industry. And I always tell people, real estate's simple but hard. It's simple and you said this, right? It's simple in the fact that all you have to do is wake up and say, who am I going to talk to today? Right. I'd always tell myself, who's going to be my client today? If you just simplify real estate, it's conversations. And you said that, and so it's good to hear that coming from someone else who's been in the business, as long as you have, and coaching other agents, that,